All right, castaways. Buff Daddy reporting from the Chaos Dome, and episode 8 was pure gasoline. Let's break this thing down, scene by scene. Then I'll crown the social assassin, the strategic sicko, and the poor soul playing the worst overall game you've ever seen. What in the world am I talking about? Have I told you about this? Survivor 50, episode 8. This is Survivor 50, still in the hands of the fans, especially this week. All right. This week's episode of Survivor 50 is episode 8, Double the Fun, Double the Demise. So, we begin with some fallout from Dee's blind side and Coach taking his victory lap. We kind of open right where we left off. Dee's gone, first juror. And by the way, we have no more previous winners left in the game. It goes along with what I've told you all along as we've been discussing episode by episode. If you're a former winner, like Savannah, where Savannah goes, "Oh, yeah, I won in my season," why don't you just take a big target, put it on your back, and ask to go home, or maybe even just self evict yourself? You don't ever tell people that you've won the game. It just immediately puts a target on your back. Look, we're right now only through 7 episodes, and all the winners are gone. Was 3 of them. So each each week there's an episode winner gone, episode winner gone, episode winner gone. It's crazy. So you got to keep that stuff to yourself. But as I mentioned, Coach has been strutting around camp like he just solo won heroes versus villains. He tells Jonathan that, they actually came for him and they'll never get him because he's running the game. Jonathan actually has a functioning social filter, and he gently tries to tell Coach to dial it down in front of everybody else. Now, that probably went over like, I don't know, a fart in church with Coach. And Coach promises, as Jonathan says here, and Coach says, "Yeah, I mean, I can back off, right?" But he even says that he won't run the next vote, like he actually did run the last vote, right? But you can already feel the Dragon Slayer ego leaking out of every single pore. And here, Coach actually believes there's a mind in that cranium that actually believes he is Ralph Macchio practicing his cream kicks. It's just absolutely crazy. Well, let's breeze through these introductions. Let's get going. Jonathan and Chrissy are like, "Yeah, Coach, man." And Stephanie's like, "He has got to keep it down. He's just got to keep it down." They huddle up and they admit the obvious. Coach is their fourth, but he's also a liability. They still like their 7 strong honor and integrity alliance. How do you get 7, right? Well, you got Ozzy, Joe, Siri, Rizzo along with them. Uh, well, not so much even Rizzo, but when you count Coach in with them, then you've got 7. But I mean, we all know that Rizzo tags along with Siri, and Siri's included in their group. It shows that they don't really know, but it's just another number they don't even know that they have. And they want to aim at the middle people: Aubrey, Devons, Christian, and Emily. Tiffany, who we see here, doesn't even factor into the game other than being a little bit lower than the middle at this point. Before those 4 quietly slide to the end with killer resumes, right? Those middle people. And that's what Tiffany even sees. But, now it's a little, might be, I don't know, a little too late for Tiffany. Uh, Ozzy's double life and Tiffany's new leverage then is shown. Ozzy pulls Tiffany aside and he just straight up tells her once again, he grabs both feet, jumps up in the air, grabs both feet, and jams them as far into his mouth as he can, and makes another horrifically bad gameplay move. Hey, yeah, Tiff, I wrote your name down. Sorry. And he pins it on needing to stay in Coach's good graces to keep his spot inside that alliance, so he can eventually take Coach out. Now, it seems as if that honesty lands with Tiffany. She says she appreciates him just telling her what he had done, and she respects that he told her the truth and didn't sugarcoat it either. Coach, sensing Tiffany as a threat but wanting to keep her close, tries to spin a story that he did not push for her name that evening during that vote, right? And of course, Coach is Coach. He never uses his head for anything but to tie back the ponytail. So he didn't think 10 steps ahead as you have to in a Survivor game. If I tell somebody, well, it wasn't me pushing for you, you've got to know they're going to come back and say, well, then if it wasn't you, who was it? And Coach just gives you a blank stare. At least that's what the editors want you to believe. I don't believe you just sat there and didn't say anything that entire time. But that's what they would have us believe, that he just froze up. He didn't give him a name, no accountability, just awkward air is what we were shown. That is a social red flag, and Tiffany clocked it. Then you've got the boat, the pairs, and the double duo twist. A boat pulls up. Always, always bad news. And delivers a note. The tribe must divide into pairs, which is not good. Not for this tribe at all, right? Here we see Joe and Ozzy and Jonathan talking over who's next, and they're talked about Aubrey and Ozzy's scared of these two in the middle. Chrissy tells Coach, hey, keep your trap shut. Tiffany just kind of walks around aimlessly. This is where Coach and Tiff have their talk that I just talked about. And she's like, yo, bro, if it wasn't you, who was it? And that's the look he gave her. Check that out. This is a Dragon Slayer, folks. That's the best look he can give you. I'm not going to say anything. It's far too late. And that's exactly what she said. It was far too late. Well, the boat pulled up and gave him bad news. The tribe had to divide into pairs with one person left out. They mingle like it's a Weird Island dating app. And what they landed on was Jonathan and Christian as one pair, Coach and Chrissy as another pair, Joe and Tiffany as a pair, Rizzo and Emily as a pair, Ozzy and Stephanie as a pair, Devins and Aubrey as a pair. They also just all agreed that because so many of them wanted to be the one to set out, that they again took their cubes with their names on them that they use, to do their shot in the dark. And Siri's name was the one pulled out, so she got to set out. Which, okay. But after you'll notice in this particular shot that I'm showing you, you see 1, the green, 2, the blue, 3, the yellow, 4, the pink, 5, the teal, and then 6. That might be orange. Yeah, I think orange, right? So you have 6 of them there, but then you only see 3 and 3. So this tells you immediately, oh, this is a 2-part challenge. We're going to start off with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But 3 of these people, teams of 2, are not going to make it. They'll be sitting right on the bench over there to the left. And the other people, these other 3, will go on then to try to get this ball to the top of the cage with paddles, and that's not easy, folks. Then once you get your ball out, there's one ball here, and you've got to get both balls in this through this maze, and there's channels on the end, the top, and here. If the ball hits the channel, you start again. So you've got to get 2 balls in, and only 3 sets of 2 will get a shot at that. Then only one of those will win the immunity, and then everybody else is up for grabs. See, that was the double duo twist. Your fate's tied to your partner. At Tribal, everyone can vote individually. So, Jonathan and Christian. Jonathan could vote for one duo, and Christian could vote for a totally separate duo, but you have to vote for that duo, right? You can't say, oh, I just want to vote one person. It was so duo for duo. 2 torches get snuffed back to back. Now, idols and shots in the dark, if played by one member, protect both people. So let's say I'm going to take Jonathan and Christian again. If Jonathan had an idol and played it, it would work for he and Christian. If Jonathan had the shot in the dark and he played it and it was safe, they would both be safe. If it was not safe, they would both not be safe. Okay? It's paired destiny, Survivor style, and nobody saw that coming. It was a good twist. Siri now, as the unpaired player, is immediately sent to Exile Island. Bye-bye. She can't be voted out, but she also doesn't automatically get a vote. She will have a chance to earn it. We'll talk about that in a bit. So Siri then does head to Exile, and on Exile, Jeff gives Siri her task. Find one coconut with a phoenix symbol among 2,000 coconuts that are scattered all over this one area of an island before time runs out. If she succeeds, she gets to return and vote at that tribal. But if she fails, she's voiceless. She gets no vote. Now, she actually starts inefficiently, checking coconuts closer to the timer. Friends. If you're going to play the game of Survivor, okay, and someone's going to set up a desk and they're going to have things that you need to check, if you are the boob that starts checking the things right around there, just self-evict. Just go home. You don't know anything about Survivor. You've never seen the game played. Siri's played this game multiple times, and she immediately starts checking right around her as if, oh, well, maybe they're thinking maybe I won't check here. No. If anything, you pretty much need to look at the challenge ahead of you. For instance, here's what I would have done. I would have assumed that they would have taken that phoenix and buried it. Okay, on like put it on one side of a coconut and then put that into the sand. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to waste my energy bending down and picking. I'm going to walk and kick each coconut until I find it, and I'm going to find it, and it's not going to take more than a half hour. But she's got to do the dumbest way of finding these you've ever seen in your life. She's picking them up and then throwing them behind her, where she's going to have to go back and check other coconuts. I mean, when she started this, I said, there's no way. There's just no way she's ever going to make it. Not the way she's went off, right? But what we have to remember, and what I can't get through my head yet, is the Survivor gods have blessed Siri in every single way. She started off so incredibly inefficiently, it's not even funny, checking coconuts closest to the timer, but she eventually locked in, she cried, sat down about it, gathered herself, and she found the marked coconut in time. That's classic Siri. When the game gives her a ridiculous mini quest, she just ends up solving it and walks back in with power. It's absolutely crazy. So we'll just walk through here and I'll get us all caught up. So back at the challenge, the pairs face a multiple stage gauntlet. You have an obstacle course that you have to get through. Well, first you take a basketball and you bounce it up uh, through this hoop. Then you run through an obstacle course, and once you run through, there's the basketball through the hoop, and then it rolls down. Then you have to catch it, and then you and your partner grab these a ball and a paddle, and then one of you has to flip the ball to the other person, who then has to take it and flip it into a basket. Then you have different, um, as you can see here from this shot, you have these different wooden pieces that have holes cut in them that are differently. But there are only three separate, like, um, patterns of these holes, like big hole, little hole, little hole, little hole there. Big hole, big hole, big hole, little hole, big hole in the second one, right? So you could tell, you would go back, you would take a look at that. You would go back to your pieces, line them up, and say 1, 2, and 3. The big hole, little hole is 1. When I say 1, hand me big hole, little hole, right? And you would just do it and it would be quick. One would think. Then later on, what you have to do, only 3 of the pairs are going to take, each one has this paddle. You got to get that ball up to the top. And then once you're at the top, you take it and go through the mazes I talked about. So you go through the table maze. And the twist, the winning pair also gets immunity and a reward of spaghetti and tiramisu. Look, I don't know where our budget for food went this year or what happened to sponsors, but I mean, next up, I mean, I know it might be a sponsor, but I think they're going to give them White Castle or something, or maybe a half-eaten Burger King burger or something. This is terrible. Spaghetti and tiramisu on season 50? Anyway, Joe and Tiffany clutch the win. They safely secure safety for both of them, and they get the food award. Ozzy and Stephanie, Devins and Aubrey made really, really, really deep runs into this challenge, but they just fell short. So Joe and Tiff head off to eat and talk while the rest head back to camp to absolutely panic. Yeah, Rizzo and Emily were never in. Now, Aubrey and Devins looked like they were going to be last as this challenge started, and they ended up being second, but behind you. And I thought Jonathan and Christian would literally walk through this, and they could not get on the same page at all. So Joe and Tiffany are your big winners, and it came down to Christian and Jonathan and Aubrey and Devins, but Aubrey and Devins beat them out at the end. Coach and Chrissy may as well not have even played. Rizzo and Tiff were the same way. So then they do the second part of the challenge, as we talked about, and Joe and Tiffany looked like they were completely out of it. All the others had their balls up and out, and they weren't even close. But when it came time to do this puzzle, I mean, these guys were jerking this table around like they were trying to do the Macarena while they were holding the table. It was absolutely terrible. They got close a few times, but they just couldn't do it. And then all of a sudden, Tiffany and Joe get their stuff together, walk down, get their ball in first, and the other people still couldn't, do it. And finally, Joe and Tiffany walk out. As you can see, one ball in, one ball almost there, and all the rest of them are struggling. They really took their time, and then they ended up winning it. So let's all head back to the camp, and let's have some spaghetti. And Siri, then they decide to show her. Now, look at this island. You see all those coconuts? You see how some of them are like buried, half buried, right? Well, it's pretty amazing. She sees that and immediately goes, "Oh, there's no way I'm going to do this." And it's out in the sun, the burning sun, right? So this, if you bend down and look, as you can see right here, do you see the coconut right there in the middle of the screen? That's got the phoenix on it. So they didn't even bury it. They wanted her to find it. It's like, right, all she would have literally had to do is walk around and never bend down or do anything. But nope, she reads the sign, and the first thing she does is put her bag down, set the timer, and then immediately go to one right by the timer. And then she takes them and throws them behind her. Like a football, like the center on a football team, just throwing them behind her. It was crazy. The time kept running out. She look. You see there over to the left of where Siri is. She just takes these and hikes them behind her. But she hasn't looked at any of these over here. I'm telling you, folks. At this point, she gets hot. She starts crying. Poor Siri. And I get it. It is hot, and you start to think that these tasks are impossible. But then we have to get the montage of her other seasons where, remember this, where all the other tribes were done with the thing, and her tribe says, we are going to let her finish this, like it or not. We're just going to stay with it. And they did, and she ended up doing it. She's just like, I can persevere. I can do this. So she begins to look and look and look and look what she found. It just blows my mind. I don't know how she doesn't win the game at this point. I really don't. It's absolutely nuts. So she comes back, and of course, she's going to tell him, right? Any smart Survivor player is going to come back and go, "Oh, I had this impossible thing with these coconuts, and I couldn't do it. There were like 2,000 of them, and it was like way too hot. So I don't have a vote tonight, and that's that. And just leave it at that, right?" Nope. She tells him what she did, and she told him she got a vote. Oh my gosh, friends. I swear, this is season 50 where these people like Siri have played multiple times, and they act like they don't know a thing about this game. It just burns me up. Anyway, at the spaghetti reward, Joe and Tiffany enjoy their meal, and they start talking names. Joe's fixated on his nemesis Devons and wants him gone. Tiffany listens, but she's also clocking the bigger picture. This is a double elimination, and pairs are the unit of destruction. Now, back at camp, we have a scramble, we have a middle versus the power, and we have a Coach Chrissy problem, which coaching anybody's a problem, right? So back at camp, the game fractures into the layers. You have the honor and integrity core. You have Coach, you have Chrissy, you have Jonathan, you have Stephanie, you have Joe, you have Ozzy, and you have Siri. And they fully believe they're in control of the game. Then you have the middle people, as Coach said. Aubrey, Devons, Christian, and Emily. They are perfectly positioned to be swing voters. And then you just kind of have Riz and Tiffany as wild cards with connections in multiple directions. Emily, of course, begins to push really, really hard for Coach and Chrissy, seeing them as the head of the Snake Alliance with Stephanie, Jonathan, and good old Joe here. She says, if you decapitate the pair, the whole structure wobbles. Now, Ozzy initially wants Devons and Aubrey. He sees them as the dangerous long-term threat. This was the first time Ozzy made a good decision in the game. Right? Of course, Devons and Aubrey. Devons is an idol finder, and the idol got played last week, so the idol is going to be found, right? Well, guess what, friends? Again, this is season 50. No one looked for the idol this week, not even Devons. This is mind-blowing and mind-numbing to me. How do you not go looking for an idol when there's an idol in play? Anyway, so you got Devons. Aubrey doesn't seem like much of a threat, but she's in that middle, right? Along with Devons, who's also in the middle, but is a threat. That is your power couple to get out this week, period. Just do it. But when Siri returns from exile, she worked on him. She said, you can knock the middle out whenever you want. Yeah. There's a lot of jurors who would tell you different, Siri. And even you've been bit by that before. And she says, you can get them out whenever you want. When you gonna get Chrissy and Coach at one time? Let's see. What is Chrissy won? What alliance is Chrissy with that matters? Nothing. Coach is at best annoying, but he can't even go for a swim without all of his muscles like cramping up on him. Yeah, you have to put up with the haiku BS and his trying to tell you what to do, but he's not winning anything and he's not in control of anything. Neither of these people are dangerous in any way. So immediately when I saw that they were up, I told myself, well, Devins and Aubrey are definitely the right choice to go. So they will not go. These people won't even look at them. Who would I never vote off right now? And that would be Coach and Chrissy. That's probably who they're going to start targeting. And sure enough, Siri comes out and says, let's get Coach and Chrissy. That line is pure Siri. It's timing over targeting. She reframes the move as a once in a season shot at two players at once. And unfortunately, Ozzy once again jumps on the I'm never going to make a good move in this entire season. And he listens to her, and the tide starts to turn. Then Devins lights the fuse, and things begin to go absolutely crazy. Devins knows, he finds out that his name has been floating around. Right? This is to go back, Siri goes back and tells everybody that she does have her vote. And, Ozzy says that when she tells Ozzy that she wanted Coach out, Ozzy's like, well, yeah, I never liked Coach anyway, blah, 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 remember? And I voted him out. Even from day one of this particular season, when he stole that from me, so I want him out. And Aubrey's like, yeah, well, we're the underdogs. And Tiffany says, nah, everybody's going for Coach. And then all of a sudden, because Siri even tells Devins, no, we're going for Chrissy and Coach. So he feels fine. But Chrissy starts getting in people's ears about wanting, Devins and out. So it does eventually get back. See, you're the plan for Miss Chrissy. That was Rizzo, right? So Rizzo and Siri try to get Joe. Joe does not want to vote for Coach at all, right? Because he's Mr. Honor and Integrity. I want you to listen to me real closely. Joe's Mr. Honor and Integrity, and he would never write Coach's name down. Let's see if that holds true. Okay. So everybody here is in agreement, right? Jonathan, Stephanie, Coach. We're not going to vote out Coach. We're gonna vote out Devins, and we're gonna vote out Aubrey, right? And there's tons of numbers there to do that. So now Devins is hearing his name, and he's getting a little antsy. Earlier in the season, if you remember, he and Christian planted a fake idol, a tribal, as a contingency plan. But now with this double duo, right? This is Christian trying to tell Devins, hey, we have a chance to take the heart of the Death Star here. Basically, don't worry about it. Even though your name's being tossed around, you're okay. You're going to be fine. But Devins remembers, oh yeah, I played that fake idol, and with this double duo twist looming, it may be time to actually pull that out. So Coach, even though he was told to shut up, manages to do some haiku where no one can hear him, and then it's off to tribal as Coach is still doing haiku. So we head into tribal, and there's D, your first juror. And Jeff does the Jeff thing. He basically walks him through the twist again. You vote individually, you eliminate a pair, and one idol or shot in the dark protects both people. The conversation centers on trust, pairs, and how much risk people are willing to take when their fate is tied to someone else. Like poor Chrissy's fate's tied to Coach there. Coach still projects confidence, but you can see cracks. And people are tired of his I run this game energy. So, as we begin talking, we finally get to Coach giving a long soliloquy about how he didn't do anything this week. He just sat back and watched. And as he watched, he could see the treachery and the lies moving around all around camp, right? And now he knows what's going on. And Devins hears that. And then, folks, if you listen to this show, as Coach is talking on and on, the editors of this show literally put echo and reverberation into Coach's voice as this shot is on screen of Devins. What does that tell you? He's going to grab that fake idol, right? Devins' fake idol stunt creates just enough doubt to push the majority away from the Devins Aubrey option and toward the bigger structural threat, Coach and Christie. So you think, is he going to play it? Is he going to play it? Is he going to do it? And he gets up, and then in the stupidest move I've seen yet by Devins this season, he tells everybody that he got a clue to an idol. Folks, clues to idols only tell you, oh, it's in this general vicinity. It wouldn't, in fact, say anything like, oh, at Tribal, you have to go 3/4 of the way down, take the top rock off, and it's right there. He beelined to that idol. He took the rock off, beeline to it. I mean, not even like looking around for it or anything else. That would immediately tell me it's fake. It's fake. It can't be real. He's lying about this, right? He has to be lying. Now everybody's in an uproar. Oh my God, we were all going to vote for him, but now he has an idol. And he gets this, shit-eating grin on his face. And Aubrey is like, hey, I'm safe. I'm 100% safe because he's got to play that tonight then. And when he does, I am safe. But folks, it's a fake idol. He can't play it. It's not real. But as I mentioned, that stunt created just enough doubt as everybody then begins talking with, oh, who are we going to do? Who are we going to do? And Rizzo says, I can't believe we didn't blank see it, right? Rizzo doesn't see anything. He sees the idol in his pocket playing the same game he's played last season, and he didn't win. So I don't even know why we give him screen time. It's been so little. So Chrissy looks at Coach and says, hey, he may or may not even play it, right? So I mean, we're still okay. And you see Steph talking to Christian, and and at this point, Devin says, hey, looks like I picked a great time to find this, Jeff. It looks like my head was on the chopping block after all. And so they still talk about what's what. And Jonathan gets up and starts talking, and Devins then throws some trash at Jonathan and says, oh, I can see where some people's, where their alliances lie. Jonathan looked him right in the eye and says, you're showing your colors too, brother. So that's a watch next week. Let's see if the Jonathan Devins thing blows up. Okay. So Stephanie finally just looks over at Devins and says, will you show me your idol? Devin says, no. What do you mean, show me the idol? She's like, open it. Show it to us. He says, you don't need to see it. You don't need to see it. Okay, with number one, he beelined to get it. Number two, he won't show it. Dude, you don't need 3 strikes and you're out. That's fake idol. Vote him out. He is showing you that he just made a huge play in this game that he self-orchestrated. If that doesn't put him at the top of your list to get out at this moment, well, you're a fool. And friends, season 50 should have been called Fools in the Hands of the Fans, because everybody here just keeps making stupid mistake after stupid mistake. Man, if I could have ever played this game, it would have been this season, because I could have came in as a brand new nobody and taken out every one of these people. They wouldn't have stood a chance. Right now, I'm going to stand up in this tribal council. I'm going to say, Jeff, just a minute. Okay, everybody, it's clear you're all fools. So let me just point out a couple of really obvious things to you. He, the idol king, right? That should tell you something right away. The idol king, beeline directly to that idol, to the rock, picked it up, put the rock back. Every clue never is that specific about where the idol is. And by the way, just to prove me wrong, Devins, show me the clue. Prove me wrong. And he can't because there's no such thing. So now people are going to believe me. Now, number two, I'm going to go. Stephanie just asked him to show it and he won't show it. Devins, show it and have Jeff affirm it or else. Or else we're all voting for you right now. Those are your choices, Devins. Show it, okay? Or we're voting for you. Or tell us the truth about it and you might stand a chance. Do you see how I can take over this game and chaos can rule? No, they don't. They don't. Even after that, coach is like, oh, we've got him now. Coach even knows. This guy is like thick-headed, can't see what he's doing to other people at all. Even he knows right now Devins is lying. So everybody sits blank-faced. Yeah, what a mess. And we do the vote. And unfortunately, yeah, Emily and Rizzo get a vote, but that's from Chrissy because she's kind of pretty clueless and shouldn't have even been in this season. Was an ineffectual waste of a person on the show. But anyway, Devins is like, hey, yeah, this is not an idol and I can't play it. And now he's got to go back and tell Aubrey why he can't use this thing, right? But yet somehow still make it seem like it's an active idol without playing it. So he goes back and Jeff says, hey, if anybody has an advantage, now's the time to use it. And then Devins looks at Aubrey and says, the clue said I have to wait a week. Mr. Idol, right? Mr. Idol. No gameplay whatsoever at all. Period. This is peak dumbassery at its finest, right? If you're Aubrey, you want Devins out because he didn't save you and he lied to you, right? He absolutely lied to you. So coach gets up and he hands in his shot in the dark and they were not safe. So it's Coach and Chrissy until the final 2 torches, 1 swing. And the Honor and Integrity Alliance loses its loudest voice and its sharpest numbers manager in a single shot. First Chrissy, and then Coach. So, here's the aftermath. With Coach and Chrissy gone, the board is suddenly fluid. Jonathan and Stephanie lose their tight 4. Joe's exposed without a shield. Oh, and by the way, Joe voted for Coach and Chrissy. So much for honor and integrity. Joe now is totally exposed without his shield. Ozzy and Siri have successfully redirected the vote. And Emily, Rizzo, Tiffany, Devins, Aubrey, and Christian now have plenty of room to maneuver. This is the kind of mid-merge fracture that defines who will actually win this game. So now we go down into who's playing the best social game, who's playing the best strategic game, who is playing the worst game ever, which at this point, just throw their name in a hat and just draw one. They're all just playing horrific game. But anyway, let's start with best social game. Buff Daddy would tell you that Siri is still the social gravity of the season right now. Why do I say that? She's trusted across divides. She's in with the honor and integrity core. Jonathan, Stephanie, Joe, Ozzy. And and Rizzo, and has deep connection with more flexible players like Ozzy and Rizzo, and likely the middle group as well. People don't talk about getting Siri yet, right? Those people that did are gone. Instead, they're talking with her. See, exile didn't hurt her stock. Being sent to exile could have isolated her, but instead it gave her a mini hero arc. She completed a coconut task, returned with a vote, and nobody resented her immunity. That's social capital, not suspicion. She changes minds with one sentence. That line to Ozzy, when you gonna get Chrissy and Coach at one time, is social judo. She didn't bully him, she just reframed his thought. Ozzy feels like he's making the call, not her. And she's the one who's actually controlling him, like Geppetto to his Pinocchio. And she gets zero blowback. Coach is loud, Chrissy is visible, Devins is theatrical. Siri is present in everything, but not catching any heat. That's peak social positioning. From a chaos lover's perspective, Siri isn't just surviving the chaos, she's actually curating it. Now, let's talk strategy. And this one might be a little surprising, okay? Who does the Buff Daddy think is playing the best strategic game? Believe it or not, I gotta say, Emily is, with an honorable chaos crown to Devins for what he did tonight. He did cause chaos. He did it the entirely wrong way, totally wrong time, but it's chaos and I love it, right? If Siri's the social queen, Emily is quietly becoming a strategic architect. Why do I say that? Well, she has correct target selection. Remember, Emily wants Chrissy and Coach gone, not the middle people like herself. She recognizes that as long as that power pair exists, they control the narrative and the numbers. Removing them opens the board for flexible players like herself and the middle people. And then using the twist, not fearing it. It's double duo. That that scares people into safer votes. Emily instead sees it as a chance to take out two heads of the alliance at once. That's high leverage thinking. And she's not overexposed in any way. She keeps pushing the idea, but she's not the face of the move in the way that Coach was for D, right? That means she gets the benefit of the outcome without inheriting the you did this to me target, right? Neither Chrissy or Coach on that jury are going to look at Emily and say, you did this to me. You see what I mean? Now, from a pure chaos strategy standpoint, you have to shout out Devins. You just have to. He and Christian planted that fake idol earlier in the season, specifically for a future tribal meltdown. This was not the time to use it. This was just not the time. Now, a lot of people are going to argue with me. Oh, yes, it was. If he had done that, they were all going to vote for him. No, I think you were still going to see Coach and Chrissy. I think that was a done deal, right? And again, I say that because these people aren't playing with their minds. They're all playing with their hearts. And right now, Coach is on my. He just won't shut up, and he's trying to tell me what to do. Blah, blah, playing with emotion, and you can't do that, right? Devins chooses the high stakes double elimination tribal to find the idol, and it blew up everyone's plan at that point. Even Joe, Mr. Oh, I'd never vote for Coach, wrote Coach's name down. The result, the vote shifted away from his pair and landed on Coach and Chrissy. That's long con strategy married to theatrical chaos. Props from the Buff Daddy to Devins on that. But man, you did it at the wrong time and you did it the wrong way. I hope it doesn't come back to bite you. Now, at this point, who's playing the worst game overall? Like I said, you could take all these players' names, you could take all of their shout in the dark cubes, put them in, and just pull one out and go, it's this person. Other than Siri, let's take Siri's name out because at this point, even if I did say Siri, it would magically turn into somebody else's name. I just wouldn't be allowed to say that. It's just the survivor gods have her back. So I just have to say, Buff Daddy picks Coach, right? Coach is a character, okay? As a player, nah. He's just a walking cautionary tale. He overclaims credit. He loudly took full credit for Dee's elimination, bragging like he's running the game. I ran that vote. That might feel good in the moment, but it paints an even larger target on your back and alienates everyone, including some of his allies. And he had no at all radar for any social feedback. Jonathan and others literally tell him, shut it, zip it, shutty, tone it down. And he just says, yeah, okay. But then he kept being coach. When your own alliance is worried you're too much, that's a problem. Coach couldn't find it, couldn't see it. He had bad damage control with Tiffany. That was terrible. He tried to keep Tiffany close, but he couldn't even answer a basic question. Who pushed my name? Coach, just say anybody's name. It doesn't matter right now. It doesn't matter. Say anybody's name. Because if she comes back and goes to somebody else and says, well, coach said you do that, and that's when, as coach, you go, no, I didn't at all. As a matter of fact, while we were back there, let's just say that she went to Jonathan and said, oh, Jonathan, he said, coach said you, and I would go, Jonathan, no, she actually told me back there that you were her target. Right? Now, because I'm coach in this scenario, I know what you're saying. Well, nobody's going to believe coach anyway. Still, if you put in a game where people are playing with their emotions instead of their head, when you say that, Jonathan now will have Tiffany's name on his mind, laser focused. That's what you need to do in this case to get everything off of you. Coach just couldn't do that. And he had no chaos insurance. Unlike Devon's, Coach didn't plan any idols or have any backup plans at all. No fake idols, no cross alliances that could save him. He was playing king of the hill in a season when the hill keeps exploding. From the chaos philosophy lens that the Buff Daddy always runs everything through, Coach thinks he's the Dragon Slayer, but in episode 8, he's the dragon that everyone finally got together and agreed to slay. Now, episode 8 is a perfect example of why I say chaos is the true way to win in Survivor. You see, Siri uses subtle chaos here. Twists, exile, shifting pairs to quietly improve her position and to quietly manipulate people with all the chaos going on around her. She doesn't actually create the chaos, but like a wizard that sees chaos magic, she kind of manipulates it to her own benefit. So I'm going to give her credit for that. Emily uses structural chaos, the double duo twist, to surgically remove a pair from a powerful alliance, right? Never got any blood on her hands at all. Saw that chaos that was there or non-chaos where everybody was going to vote safely and said, no, let's all put something on our resume. Let's all make this, and again, notice the term all. You can't just blame me here. Devon's, of course, we've already talked about the theatrical chaos, the fake idol, just bad timing, horrible timing and a bad way to do it. And Coach just ignored all the chaos, assumed he was above it, and he got swallowed by it 100%. So, friends, that is the Buff Daddy's take on Survivor, season 50, episode number 8. Now, I'm loving the twists. I loved this twist way more than the last one where they had to draw rocks for position. That's luck. Let's take luck out of this game. Here, a lot of people goes, well, isn't this the same thing? No, you had to have a great social game to pick your partner, right? Let's just look at Jonathan, for instance. Now, they didn't win, right? But Jonathan knew what his weakness is, puzzles. So he went and grabbed the smartest guy that he could in Christian and said, let's go. I'm the strength, you're the brains. That's all you need to get through. Now, unfortunately, it wasn't in this particular case. The whole thing just wasn't up. Christian wasn't up to it. Who knows? Maybe Christian was throwing it at this point. I mean, if there's anybody safe in this game, it's Christian. No one's ever saying his name. He's even winning challenge. He won a challenge, and no one's saying his name. It's crazy. But that's what you do. In this game, you strategically think about Who's going to help better my game? And all he did was put his arm around Christian and said, "You're with me." Christian's not going to say anything about, "Oh, no, 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 no. I don't want to." He just went along with it. That's how you do it. And see, basically what happened was everybody picked their pairs, and Coach and Chrissy were left. No one's going to pick Coach because he tried to bully everybody the week before and can't shut up and can't stop saying stupid haikus and thinks he's better than everybody. And Chrissy has no alliance with anyone. So who's going to talk to her? You see? Your weaknesses show up. And in the end, it costs them. So I don't mind this kind of twist. But if you ever say pick rocks for position, or we're just going to do these rock thing and there's no skill or challenge to it, then it's not for Survivor. It has no place in Survivor at all, in my opinion. And that's why I didn't mind this. I'm liking these switch ups. But friends, we got to start doing better in food challenges than spaghetti and tiramisu. Now I know that I think they already did maybe an Applebee's one this season, and I get it. This is Survivor. This is the biggest reality show on television. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I mean, the Traders is coming up really large. Lots and lots of people are watching Traders. But Big Brother's fallen off a lot. So I've got to think Survivor. If not still number one, it's right up there. And they had you could tell last season they skimped on everything. They kept doing the same challenges over and over. Shoot, they didn't even put mud on any of the courses that they did other than week one. 1 week with mud. These people have already had mud 3 or 4 times, right? I mean, come on, let's just put water in the ground, folks. You can do that. There's a whole ocean just down the way. So I'm not sure what's going on. I mean, you could say, well, they had Zach Brown come, and yeah, he had to go catch their fish. I mean, are we hurting in the food budgeting department at CBS? I don't think so. I mean, this kind of strikes me as odd. And by the way, this challenge had been done before. So, like the challenge last week had been done before. Look, I know you've done this for this is 50, Survivor 50. I get it. But if you're having trouble, just pull up Claude or ChatGPT and say, "Hey, go look at all 50 seasons of Survivor and see the challenges and help me come up with some new ones." That'll work. It'll work. You know how I know? I tried it. And I said, "Give me 50 new challenges." And it gave me 50 and said it was ready for more. It'll work. So maybe let's see some new stuff. That would be really, really cool. And what? So we're just going with Billie Eilish and Zach Brown? We know Mr. Beast is still out there somewhere, but who really cares, right? Who really cares about? And the only reason Mr. Beast is on there is because he's having his own show coming up. So and I'm sure that'll be on CBS too, probably. It's crazy. It's just cross promotion. I mean, I know there's a lot of people out there, celebrities that watch Survivor religiously and talk about it all the time on their socials. Maybe why don't we reach out to them, get somebody that really does truly like now, I'm not going to say Zach Brown didn't love the game. I think he clearly knew a lot about it. So no harm, no foul there. I don't know anything about Billie Eilish other than her music is really, really good. I don't know if she watches Survivor or not. She's not known for being a huge Survivor fan, at least not that I know of. So again, there's just some nagging things like that. But okay, so if I'm gonna nag, let me also give you your flowers, okay? To particularly the editing team this season, because I can't think of an episode so far out of these 8 where it's been incredibly hard to guess properly who's going home if you use a normal person's logic. Now I've cracked the code, of course, because here's exactly what happens. And it, my son watches this with me and it infuriates him. He goes, "How are you right all the time?" And I'm like, "Well, because I told him my secret this week. It's what I've told you already. First off, you look at who makes the most sense to vote out here. Well, clearly it's Devins and Aubrey. Devins is an idle hound. Aubrey has found an idol. Is not going to win a lot of competitions, but can talk to people really, really, really well. She's played this game multiple times before. Clearly, you'd want to get them out, so you X them out. There's no way they're going. These people aren't smart enough to see that, so throw that out. Now, look at the remaining people that are up and say, who in the world is the least likely person that I would ever vote out? And I said, oh, Coach and Chrissy, because you want them by your side at the end of the game. They've done nothing, literally nothing. When it comes time to talk about your resume, all Coach is going to say is, well, I pissed everybody off. I sang haikus or tried to do haikus, and I bullied people. And Chrissy's going to say, I was here. You're going to win, hands down. You're going to win, right? You want those people. Devins, I planted a fake idol. I went and got the fake idol. I changed the vote. Now, there you go. That alone is more than 99.9% of these people have done. Aubrey, I've played a great social game, and I've got idols, and who knows if she'll win a challenge. And I was right. They went with Coach and Chrissy. And even when last season started, now you don't have to blame me if you don't want to, but when last season started, my son and I always do this thing. Let's just look. What we do is when they line the people up on the beach, we stop, we pause. I say, pick the winner right now and pick the loser. And my son tends to always look at who do I think is going to win a lot of the challenges and play a pretty good social game. And it's typically somebody like Jonathan that he'll pick, right? And from a logical person standpoint, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, you know. But I looked at Savannah and I said, of all these girls here, she's going to do the best for sure, like in challenges. It depends on her social game and how she plays. Luckily for Savannah, she played with a bunch of fools, right? And so she played a lot like Coach. She would just get in your face and say, I don't believe you. I don't like you. I think you're lying. I think this. And it pushed people away, and they all always talked about voting for her. But then when it came down to vote, she would say, here's who you're voting for, and they would just do what she told them. It was crazy. I picked her right away. I said, of course, it makes no sense for her to win this game. She's going to win a lot of the challenges, and she's going to do really, really well, probably in the social game. I mean, she was a reporter, so she knows how to talk, right? So clearly, she should be voted off first. I picked her as the winner. She won. Just like that. This game's now easy to tell. Next week, try my method. Try it. Look to see who right now is in trouble after the challenge, right? Just look and see who, okay, these people have immunity, they're off. Okay. Who's the biggest threat in the game right now? Let's just say, oh, the biggest threat in the game right now is Siri. Okay, Siri's safe. Put her over here. No one's ever going to look at Siri. Who makes the least sense in the world right now to vote off? Like you wouldn't say Rizzo because he's got an idol. You'd want to flush that idol out. But clearly nobody has eyes this season. They can't see that. Rizzo's name. I mean, Chrissy saw at least, and look how little Chrissy played this game, right? She saw, well, Rizzo's got an idol. We'll get him out, right? So you just go down the line, and you're like, well, at this point, probably Tiffany, right? She, Tiffany. I would not go after Tiffany at all. Period. She's done nothing. No, like, oh, well, she won the challenge. Okay, yeah, well, one challenge. What's one challenge? What has she done socially? What alliances is she in? Nothing. I want her sitting by me. I'm going to put Tiffany's head on a chopping block next week, and I haven't even seen the show yet because that's how these people act. Now, again, I will reassess, obviously, after the challenge next week. That's when I do the guessing. But overall, I mean, you just try that same logic and see if you come out the way I think I'll come out next week. I've been right 8 weeks in a row, and this is season 50. I should not have been. But going back to my initial statement, the editors are making it such a way that almost everybody's name at one point seems to get mentioned, right? So you're like, oh, okay, well, they could go this way, or they could go this way, or they could go this way, or they could go this way. And they put that air of doubt in your mind. And they've done that more this season, I think, than they've ever done in all 50. So kudos to you guys for doing that. That that really makes me enjoy the show as a Survivor super fan and loyalist, right? I don't want to know who, it's like when you go to a who done it movie and 2 minutes in you go, he's the killer and here's how you did it. And, it's Miss Colonel Mustard with the rope in the ballroom and you know it right away. And boom, that's what it is. That movie's not as enjoyable as it should be. And Survivor's been that way for me the last 5, 6 seasons. This one is turning into that, but for a totally different reason. It's just I don't know what happened to these players or what they fed them on Fiji. Fiji Airlines must have put a little something in the drinky that they had on the way out because they've all lost their minds. I mean, Ozzy can't make any more bad decisions than he's already done, but he'll make some more next week. No one looks at Syria as a threat. I mean, this is just absolute absurdity at its finest. But I still love this show. I'm still going to watch it every week. And of course, I'll still come and tell you what my mind told me about it this week. So now I have told you about Survivor Season 50, Episode 8. Hope you enjoyed the episode. I have been Buff Daddy, aka Brad Komjenik. This has been the Have I Told You About This Show? The show where my mind takes me somewhere during the week and I take you along for the ride. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you'll just take that 3 to 5 seconds that it takes to click either like or dislike. If you hate this and you'll never watch it again, click dislike. Go down to the comments and at least give me a shot. Tell me why you hate me. I'm good with that. Big shoulders. I can take it. Or click the like. I'm good either way. It helps the show to get noticed, right? I'm a new show. We're only 30 episodes in at this point. I could definitely use your help. So if you're getting anything out of what these shows, let's say like you're like the probably 90% of the few viewers right now who are only watching for Survivor, click like on only the Survivor shows, dislike the rest of them. That'll help overall, and I certainly would appreciate it. All right, enough chit chat. Thank you so much. From my heart, I appreciate and love each and every one of you. Thanks so much. I hope you have an amazing rest of your week, and I'll see you back next week on the only show where the host is crazy enough to say, bye bye, coach. You won't be missed. See you around.